The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
I say he that keepeth his mouth, you know, they shall belong.
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by The Armory Company, Burger King, Fine Threads, The Free National Movement, John's Department Store, KFC, the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, Naughty Johnny's, Prince Masters, and Tropical Gyros.
Me granny tell me from your little baby, he that keepeth his mouth shall stay out of problem. It seems like it was a carrying jail, so I ain't carrying no. Same out that chatter with me, well, chatter of him, murder rap begin farm. Oh, your mouth I go put you in a problem.
You've got it locked to the Friday, March 20th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty along with MJ in your company right up until 6 p.m. on this edition. And like I said, we got lots to talk about. MJ, what's good?
Oh, everything's fine. Everything's good. I'm so happy that it's Friday. I love weekends.
It's the weekend. That's
I think I'm like everybody. We love weekends.
God, yeah. I enjoy weekends. I can't tell you a word like what we got up for the weekend. We doing nothing this weekend. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, the Elevation Awards are tomorrow night. So
correct. Elevation Awards
on
tomorrow.
The schedule, and I'm sure there's a lot happening this weekend actually. So we'll be busy.
I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll be busy.
A lot of basketball to watch too. Hint.
Yeah, I got you. I hear you.
All right, but like I said, we do have lots to talk about. We do have a special guest today, and we will talk sports in the 5 o'clock hour, so sports fans, don't freak yourself out. But we will be going over a little bit in the 5 o'clock. But like I said, if you want to chime in and be part of the conversation, here's how.
Here's how you can become a talking head, brought to you by BTC.
Text lines powered by BTC, 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Phone lines open in New Providence, 323-6232, 325-4259, 325-4316. Toll free in anyone in the Family Islands, 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720. Stream us live, take us wherever you want to go, GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. Cable channel 969, BTC Flow channel 612. That's Smart Talk all day. Right here on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. All right, MJ, I think we need to jump into our special guest first. And we'll do some of the headlines in the 5 o'clock hour, because I know you want to address some things. I want to address some things. And I'm still trying to figure out, since when we playing Back to the Future, I wonder if we should get some special Nikes and maybe a DeLorean and go Back to the Future ourselves, eh?
Back to the Future. I'm lost.
Well, I don't see how something written or passed in 2019 has anything to do with transpired in 2024 and beyond.
Oh, you mean the passport issue?
Oh, yeah. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about some other things, too. But like I said, we'll go over a little bit in the 5 o'clock hour, and then obviously we'll talk sports because it's a busy sports weekend, too. But right now, I think we need to jump in with our special guest. No stranger to the show. Glad to have him back. I know he's a very busy man on the ground doing things. But like I said, no stranger to the show, the F&M ratified candidate for the Golden Isles constituency, Mr. Brian Brown. Mr. Brown, how are you? Big Brian, how are you?
I'm in tip-top shape, Naughty. MJ, it's good to be on the show, man. I'm in tip-top shape.
We're happy to have you.
Glad to hear from you. How are you doing? How's the fam doing? Everybody good?
Man, everybody's doing wonderful. We're doing wonderful. The resident of Golden Isles is in good shape. I'm knocking on those doors and keep things going, man.
I know. I just saw recently you did your thing with your golden pearls. I see. I see you had big shindig for the golden pearls,
Oh
man.
yeah, man. They dear to my heart, and so every quarter I have to get them going. And we had a bingo and soup day, and trust me, they stayed to the last end of that. I didn't never knew the precious boys love bingo like the way they did.
What?
Man, listen, what?
Well, that's they soup. They
Naughty, I
play
never.
5, 6 cards a time.
Listen to me. 6 cards. One lady wanted 10 cards. Listen,
There you go.
it was really good with them, man. I'm getting ready for the kids for the Easter egg hunt, the biggest one ever, and that's coming up in April 4th. So I keep moving, man. Keep moving in the area.
All right, that's good to hear, man. And speaking of the area, obviously, you are the ratified candidate for the FNM, but you're no stranger to the Golden Hours constituency. How have things been since the by-election? I know you don't skip a beat. I know you don't miss a beat. So tell us what's going on in that
Naughty,
regard.
after the election, a lot of people thought I was going high, and trust me, I'm out knocking on the doors. Persons saying, Mr. Brown, you's a strong man, keep going. Next time, we got to go. We was almost there, Naughty. But I had the whole cabinet down against me and all this stuff. But trust me, Naughty, the way it's looking down in Golden Isles, we are good. My constituent, they had cut several polling division. Listen, the Golden Isles is ready to go. Whenever the bell is rung, we are ready to go. We're ready
But
to go. But
I've
it's
had some
been
texts into the show say, things ain't things no more. They don't see all what's going on. They don't see what's going on anymore.
no, man. Well, I warned them from the podium that things would not be the same after the by-election. They only wanted to try to throw some stuff down while they were there, and that's basically it. That's basically it.
So all that paving and all that talking, and now everything going quiet.
Well, they did half of it there, and that's about it. That's about it for now. I mean, all the parks are still in disarray and Golden Isles, and the lights. I mean, the light situation is worse than ever.
Well,
I live.
you answered my next question because the last time you were on the show, we talked about the parks and the lights being in disarray, and
Listen, Naughty, I see roads and park went over millions of dollars in budget, and I don't know where that happened because in Golden Isles, not one park for the past 4.5 years was upgraded. If you name one, and I could name every one, even the one that went into St. James that they would take out from me, nothing had happened to none of the parks down here in Golden Isles. I could tell you that, I could show you, I could carry you to every corner where the parks
now
are. Nothing has happened.
let me ask you this. They say the third time's the charm. If you're successful in the next upcoming general election, is that high on your agenda for Golden Hours? Because I know you're a man for Golden Hours first. And you can take a stand for Golden Hours if you have to. I understand that. But is that priority to get some of those things in order right away for you?
No, right away, Naughty. Right away, will release my manifest for the next 10 years for Golden Hours. It ain't gonna be for 5, for 10, because I'm gonna take 2 terms, and the park is high priority. The infrastructure, high agenda. So we're gonna turn things around in Golden Hours in a short order.
That's good to hear. A lot of people want to know because obviously you've been there for a minute. So obviously you feel what the constituents go through more than others.
Yeah, not that only I've been there. I live here, man, Naughty. I live here. I live there. When I wake up with resident Golden. When I go to bed, they're next door to me. I live here. When I go to the park, to exercise, do my little walk. I don't do much, but I meet my neighbors. When I go to the food store, the Arbor, anyone in the food budget, they my neighbors. When they fall in a pothole, I fall in it too. When they go to the park and no lights there, I'm there too. They my neighbors. I live here. I don't just want to represent this place. I live in Golden Isles for the past 23 years. So
And have you heard more from because I know you are on the ground. That's one thing some people can't say. You are on the ground 24/7, 365. You like the road.
oh yeah, oh
You
yeah.
know?
The road
But
is the road is my thing, Naughty. Trust me,
I,
the
I
road is my
know.
thing.
So my question to you, I know you've been on the road since the by-election. Have you heard more complaints about the current state of the country under this administration?
Naughty every day. I'm on the road 6 days of the week. The only day I don't go is Sunday because I reserve that as my church time and make sure I spend some time. Listen, I went to a house the other day, a nurse, and she said, Mr. Brown, this is the worst it's ever been in the healthcare system. I went to another house, the lady said, Mr. Brown, I'm scheduled to do surgery, but I am afraid to do it.
Wow.
It's bad, Naughty. And I know if the other crew guy knocking on the door, they can hear the same thing that I'm hearing. It's bad. The immigration crisis, it's bad.
Well, that was another one of my questions for you. So what is the take, and what are you feeling about in immigration? Because to this day, you know, we still have callers in Texas that chime in from the Golden Isles constituency and swear, you know, if a certain two constituencies who are no longer now in Golden Isles, but now in St. James, were in St. James earlier, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. You would be the MP for Golden Isles.
Oh, yeah, sure would have. No shadow of a doubt.
Now,
Go ahead.
does it still remain a concern for residents of Golden Isles that you know, as far as elections go, that immigration is going to be an issue in that regard?
Oh yeah. It's gonna be top priority. I think there's a lot of persons afraid where this country is heading in terms of the immigration, what's happening, and the present administration look like they just relax with it, and they're not forcing the laws that we have on the books in reference to the immigration laws. And I'm telling you, Naughty, I knock on doors. I had one the other day tell me my only concern is where this country is headed with the immigration situation.
Well, Mr. Brown, I know that a lot of people will be tuning in tomorrow when your party holds its, your campaign launch tomorrow night. What are some of the plans that Bahamians can look forward to hearing about from the Free National Movement as it pertains to many of these issues that affect us, nationally?
Well, we launched the Operation Shield, so you're going to hear more about that tomorrow night. We've launched that months ago and let you know where we're going to be heading with this immigration situation, but you'll hear more about that. We're going to talk more about the health crisis that we have in this country. When we left office last night, we had money already in the bank to add to the hospital building, onto the hospital the state where we are now. This present government send that back. We're going to talk about the housing situation. There's a housing crisis in this country. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about people getting a better life in terms of going in the food store. You go in the food store, everybody got their calculator trying to find out what they could put back. I go in the food store the other day, the lady said, put that back, because she can't afford it. We are going to be talking about where we can better the Bahamian life while they live here in the Bahamas. We got to do it because people are hurting in this country. I mean, every day I'm in my office 24/7 when I come in, persons in, Mr. Brown, this is going on, this is going on, and this is going on. Because the government is not looking out for the persons that we do. They're talking about your VAT. We're gonna cut the VAT of the bread basket item. They said that, they cut it now. No, those items, none. And so we prepared, and I invite the entire Bahamas to listen to the leader on how we'll present on day one when we elected as the government of this country, how we're going to move forward with this country and helping the Bahamian people.
Let's get to the phone lines. Talking Heads. Talking Heads. All right. Hey, how are you, man? What's going on?
Hey, Chief. I have two questions for your guests, right? One question, right? Mr. Brown, how you doing?
Doing very well. How are you?
Right, Chief. Hey, two questions, right? One, if you happen to lose the next election, right, will you run again? And the second thing I want to ask you, right, if you win your seat, right, you realize that us Bahamians can blame you for the highlight bill. Everyone in the world can blame you for the highlight bill. Everyone in the world can blame you for the cost of food going up. So how would you ease the burden, ease the people's minds on what's going on? Because you could see, even Stevie Wonder could see, light bill going up. So how would you deal with that situation if you happen to win your seat?
Number one, you're asking reference whether I'll run again. I'm going to win this time. You ain't going to worry about that. So you could put that baby to rest. Mr. Brown could be the member of parliament for Golden Isles. this time. So it ain't gonna be whether I ain't gonna be running a third time. I will run a third time, but I will run as the incumbent of Golden Isles. All right? The next thing about it is in terms of the light bill, we left the hedging agreement in place. If this present government had signed on to it and made sure that it was taken care of, we would not be in the position we are today. And we would make sure it happened again, that make sure the fuel level will stay at a level where the government will take care of it.
All right. Well, I know. All right, we got another caller. Let's get back to the phone. That's Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty, how you?
Hey, what's going on?
Okay. I've been hearing the commercials for the convention all week, but I haven't heard if it's going to be on television. It's saying some website. Can you let me know, please? I mean,
all right,
the launch.
I'll double check if it's in ZNS. I don't know. You know, at this time of silly season, people just play particular with our radio station, our TV station, and so on and so forth. But let's see if our news will carry it. I know that it will be on social media for sure on various platforms.
It will be.
But let me find out officially if there's going to be a national flag carrier, media house, or television house that's going to carry it. All right.
All right.
That's the best I can do for you. I personally, you know, I know from silly season how this thing go. I don't think it'll be on ZNS. Let's check if it'll be on cable. All right, let me make a call or two for you. All right, now with that being said, let's get to the break real quick. We'll take the break. Flip side of the break, we'll continue our conversation.
Naughty, before you go on, we're going to be on cable 12.
All right, cable 12.
We're going to be on cable 12. And yeah, we're going to be on cable 12.
See, there you go, caller. You see how fast that gone into that? You see how quick he took care of that?
Mm-hmm.
Cable 12. Cable channel 12. It will be live coverage of the F&M launch tomorrow night from
And I understand it'll also be on ZNS TV and radio. So there you go.
Live.
Yeah, our texters are hitting us quickly.
Well, you know that the government controls, so let's see what happened there. That's all I'm saying.
No, it should. I don't think there'll be an issue there. Yeah.
I've been walking this road long time. I have been here many summers.
Hey, Naughty, you've been here
say?
You've been here longer than me, Naughty.
No, you've been there longer than me. Now, I ain't gonna let you do that to me. But anyhow, I just seen some things happen in my time. So I say tentatively, but no, that's good to know that the national flag carrier will be carrying it as well. I like to see objectivity in this kind of time, so I'm glad to know that the F&M will be afforded that time on the national flag carrier. But I can cross my fingers because I know how this thing go. I've watched this movie many times. But we will take a quick break. Flip side of the break, we'll be back with our special guest, F&M ratified candidate for the Golden Isles constituency, Mr. Brian Brown. Keep it right where you got it.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape, a Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more. There's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances, so come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
KFC got that crispy onions crunch. Take a bite, it's a smile. Sweet onion sauce drip, happy running down my side. Pepper jack cheese, bring a little playful wow. Burrito bun soft like a cloud on this ride. KFC, get chicky with it. Hey, take it. Got my whole crew doing that thing. Crispy onion, sweet onion sauce. Pepper jack cheese, going on.
Introducing the new Sweet Chicky Chicken Sandwich at KFC.
Let's get chicky with it.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
It's time for the buzz. What are you buzzing on? Brought to you by John's Shoes.
Nice say he that keepeth his mouth, you know. They shall belong. I never ask you, nothing when you tell me. I beg you daily to cease and still you keep talking. Me granny tell me from your little baby, he that keepeth his mouth shall stay out of problem. It seems like it was a carrying jail, so I ain't carrying on. Same out that chatter with me, well, chatter of him, murder rap, your mouth I go put you in a problem.
We're back at you on the Friday, March 20th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty along with MJ and your company right up until 6 p.m. We continue the conversation now with our special guest, F&M ratified candidate for the Golden Isles constituency, Mr. Brian Brown. And just jumping back in, let me check the phone lines. Let's go back to the phone lines. We do have a caller on the line. I think that's the one we lost. Talking Heads.
Hello. Who is Brown, please?
Talking Heads.
Hello. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Brown, sir. The last time you ran at your constituency, your leader cost you lost your feet. You see the same thing happening this time. That's all I have to say.
Okay, I didn't hear completely what that caller had to say because he sounded like he's chewing marbles, but MJ, did you make out what he said?
No, I'm not sure what he said.
He sounded like he's chewing marbles, right? Or was that an attempt
a little
to
muffled,
disguise in a voice?
I wanted to ask Mr. Brown because recently we got some polling data that that polling data is quite interesting, but some polling data that suggests that the Free National Movement has national support around 18%. I find that number very hard to reconcile with historical performance of the party, as well as the actual real votes that we saw, the real turnout in the last by-election in which Mr. Brown got around 42%. What are you hearing in terms of support on the ground for the Free National Movement? And what are your thoughts on the idea that your support is around 18%?
I'm trying to figure where this polling came from. It maybe came from the PLP headquarters. They did it inside the PLP headquarters. I assume that's where it came from. But listen,
Go ahead.
MJ, I am on the ground every day, okay? Knocking on doors. Persons want this government gone. That's straight and plain. They not feeling the government. The government is not making it easy for residents. They're just not making it easy. Not in the healthcare system. You opened the Tribune, was it yesterday? The Tribune, the doctor is saying this the worst it's ever been in 40 years. In 40 years. The government can't pay the NHI doctors. They can't pay the teachers. They owe everybody there is. All
Let
of
me
the
ask
members.
you a quick question. I know you had a illustrious career in insurance, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh-huh.
What is your take on the fact that the government cannot allegedly not pay the police insurance and
So
other
that's
civil servants insurance?
That's the next thing, and obviously the insurance provider could deny a claim for the police insurance. Only out of good heart that insurance pay claims for them. Millions of dollars. I've worked in the insurance industry for 30 plus years. We deny claim. Matter of fact, your insurance should be in lapse actually. After that amount of time.
I'm sure a lot of Bahamians are wondering what a Free National Movement government would do differently than the way things are being handled right now. I know that healthcare is a great concern, and we talked about that a little bit. We talked about immigration as well. But of course, people have a lot of concerns around, just the general cost of living. We see a war going on in the Middle East now that's going to send prices sky high. So I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, like, what are some of the immediate things that the Free National Movement government, if elected, would do to help Bahamians, survive this very tough time that we're about to enter into?
MJ, there's a lot of cutback need to be done. The Prime Minister spent almost $70,000, $70 million, 68 was the last time we got, on travel. We need to cut back. We need to cut back on all these. We get 400. Last time the Minister of Labor, Public Service said they got 491 that they brought back into public service. These retirees. Huh? No way it should happen. All of this need to be dealt with. The young people are asking me when I knock on the door, Mr. Brown, why should I vote? When is going to be my opportunity? When is my opportunity to go? Why? Why should I vote? We have a struggle now with the young people asking, why should I vote? These people clogging up the system with these. When will be my time, Mr. Brown? I have to sit down and let them know and tell them hope. Hold on, we're gonna make a difference. We're gonna make it forward with them. We need the young people. We need them.
Are you encouraging young voters to register, or are they totally disenfranchised? I mean, I've encountered some that have said, "Okay, I'm going to register," and I've had some that have been like, "Nope, ain't not."
No, Naughty. I'm encouraging them to register. Matter of fact, not only I have a registration drive that we take them. Matter of fact, we had 4 at the poll this morning. 4. Okay, these young first-time voters, and we've been carrying them and making sure and telling them, the benefits to vote. Some of them are just discouraged. I'm not voting, Mr. Brown. I don't see the sense because this. But you have to say to them and get your point across and let them know the value of them as young persons in this country. But a lot of them discouraged.
What are some of the things that the young persons are focused on? Is it jobs and employment? Is it home ownership? What is their focus right now, you think?
Well, job and opportunities for them, for the young people. And then in terms of them coming to the forefront, even politics. They're going to ask Mr. Brown, when, as a young person, if I want to get in politics, how long would it take me to get up front? Because we've got people in the House of Assembly at age 70, 75. Oh, come on. They want to be a part of the system. And then, these young people got bright ideas, they'll blow your mind when you give them something to do. Matter of fact, I'm at my office doing this BGCSE classes, tutoring with maths and English going on as we speak. Okay? These young people want opportunities. And we got to make it for them. They want opportunity.
I think they don't want to be disenfranchised any longer. I think this generation, Brian, they're used to everything at their fingertips.
Yeah, they like that instant.
You go on the phone, they got information, so you can't really, half step with youngsters today. They'll fact check you real quick.
Listen, Naughty, anytime I got something to do with my young people, I put them in charge. I say, listen, you all make it happen. I'm getting ready for the egg hunt. I say, you all put it together, and trust me, they got it. They put it together. All I do is just watch them as they invent, make sure things happen.
So let me ask you this: if the FNM is successful in becoming the next administration, Are there firm plans set to go after young people and bring them back into the fold as far as being part of nation building, as far as working in certain corporations? We have a huge brain drain. What's the FM going to do to try to eliminate some of that brain drain and get those brilliant kids back here working and building our country?
Nardi, as our leaders speak, and the next Prime Minister to come to the Bahamas speak tomorrow, you'll hear all of that in his speech tomorrow. And I invite the entire Bahamas to tune in as our leaders speak on tomorrow. All that will be revealed tomorrow.
Sound like you done see something, but you can't peep the card.
All of that will be revealed.
And see how you laughing? I don't like to play domino with you,
And I'm good at dominoes.
That's what I say. You done peep the cards, so I ain't say nothing to you. I get this card tomorrow when I hear it.
Anybody want to know what's going to be happening in another 5 years, tune in tomorrow. If you can't make it at the Bahamas, please join us online. The leader will speak to all of that.
Now, as far as your constituency goes, though, everything continues as normal. I mean, nothing's really changed, correct?
Yeah, no, man. Naughty. In the last by-election, I had 14 polling division. They take out 5 from me. I want to say thanks to those 5 polling divisions, which was 2, which was Coral Heights West, and 5, which is Coral Heights South by the Defense Force Base, and 10 is South. South. 5 is Coral Lakes. They take that out, and they take out Adelaide, which was polling division 1, and then they go on around and take out Dignity, which was polling division 14. So they take out 5 from me. Okay, I'm now at 9 polling division. I didn't get none added on. All of them was the same. The 2 polling division that the Progressive Liberal Party won comfortably in the by-election, which was Dignity, which was 14. And 1 which was Adelaide, and they took them from me. So what you telling me? Names, okay? And so I'm good. I know everyone in those 9 polling division, which is 1 Coral Harbour, 7 is in Coral Harbour, 6 is Boatswain, 3 is east of Bacardi, 9 is west of Bacardi, 5 is the Lazaretta area, 4 is the Spikenard area, and 2 is the Golden Isles Road. And number 8 is west of Golden Isles Road and Cowpen Road. So I'm good. We are good in terms from the last by-election. People thought I was being discouraged after the by-election, but the by-election was really good for me because I got some support in some areas that I never thought the support was heaviest the way it was. And so I'm encouraged by the numbers. And so I'm good, Naughty. We good in Golden Isles. We have some stuff that we need to take care of, and we'll do it. We're just waiting for when the bell is ring. Golden Isles is ready.
All right, well, I'm sure the next time we talk to you, it'll be during the campaign trail.
Oh, yeah.
But we want to continue to wish you the best doing what you're doing out there in Golden Isles. I commend your commitment and your stick-to-itiveness and continuing to put the people of Golden Isles up front. Even your cousin, and I really don't shout out 49er fans on this show like that, but your 49er cousin, Derek, can text me about 5 times and say, please shout out my good cousin. That's MP for Golden Isles, Brian.
Yes, Betsy's been, I'm from Abraham's Bay, make one. But you know, the slogan in Golden Isles, they say, Mr. Brown never left and never will. Never left and never will. It never left in 21, never left in by-elections. I'm still here.
All right, well, good to talk to you. We appreciate you stopping by and getting us caught up.
Yeah, man.
We will get to the break. Flip side of the break, we will, MJ and I will touch on a couple of the headlines, and then at 5 o'clock we'll be getting to sports as well. But we do want to thank our special guest today, the F&M ratified candidate for the Golden Isles constituency, Mr. Brian Brown. And I'm sure we'll talk to him again in the near future on the election trail. Take a quick break, and the flip side of the break, the Friday, March 20th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
I beg you daily to cease and still you keep talking. Me granny tell me from your little baby, he that keepeth his mouth shall stay out of problem.
Refined style with elegant taste. Then fine threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then fine threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video. Wanna step out and look great? then Fine Threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. Is your place. Is your place.
KFC got that crispy onions crunch. Take a bite, it's a smile. Sweet onion sauce drip, happy running down my side. Pepper jack cheese, bring a little playful wow. Burrito bun soft like a cloud on this ride. KFC, get chicky with it. Hey. Taste the sweet side of things. Every single bite, so lit it. Got my whole crew doing their thing. Crispy onion jack cheese going on.
Introducing the new Sweet Chicky Chicken Sandwich at KFC.
Let's get chicky with it.
Tech giving you trouble? For 85 years, the Armory Company has been fixing it. Your parents trusted us. Your grandparents trusted us. And today, you trust us too. Since 1941, we've been the Bahamas' trusted tech partner. From laptops and ink to access control and gate motors, we deliver products backed by service that goes beyond the sale. Call 397-1600 or visit our updated showroom behind Wendy's on Mackey Street. The Armory Company, celebrating 85 years of serving you.
Track and field fans, it's that time. Time for the B3A Carifta Trials, March 20th through 22nd at the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Come see the country's finest young athletes in blazing battles on the track and fierce field competition as they look to book their tickets to the 53rd Carifta Games in St. George's, Grenada on the Easter holiday weekend. Who will make the team to represent the Bahamas? Be there for the B3A Carifta Trials, March 20th through 22nd at the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Competition starts at 5 p.m. on Friday, March 20th and 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, March 21st and 22nd. General admission, $12. Children under 12, $8. $20 VIP. 3-day passes are $24 general admission, children under 12, and $58 for a 3-day VIP pass. The B3A Carifta Trials, March 20th through 22nd. Don't you miss it.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Nice say he that keepeth his mouth, you know. They shall belong.
We're back at you on the Friday, March 20th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty along with MJ and the company right up until 6 p.m. MJ, let's go right to the phone lines. We've got some callers. Let's jump on those calls and then we'll get to the text. Talking Heads.
How you do bad the other day, man?
What happened?
Go and play Rich Eyes and all type of recording. And I was waiting on the phone for you to talk about the Lakers. And Houston.
Okay.
It sounds like a Luca fan.
Go ahead and talk, but we wasn't on yesterday. But anyway, last time I did that.
Yeah, Pearly was on yesterday. Tell Pearly you do me bad, man. Pearly say you got a little tirade. Yeah, brother.
No, I did it. I told Mr. Producer to tell you all my apologies. I'm sorry.
Listen.
I'm sorry, okay? I don't say that much to ask you, MJ. I'm sorry, okay,
We watched the
Okay, you digitizing a little bit, caller.
Yeah, we losing that caller.
I want you to call me back, and Mr. Producer, make sure you get right back on. But you again ready to drop right there. You sounded horrible, and I want to hear what you have to say, especially Laker related. But again, if you were one of those callers the other day, I apologize. Yeah, I did get caught up. I got a little fired up. Sorry about that. Blame that on Muff. I think Muff caused me get fired up. And if he didn't, blame Muff still. That's my boy anyway. All right. But MJ, we got to talk about this now and over into the 5 o'clock, a little bit after the news. But looking at the dailies, one headline jumps, and we can talk about that poll too. All right? Where they get that poll from? Off on Utility Polling. But more importantly, was the headline today on one of the dailies. Police probe 98 cases of passport fraud. Chief officer says possible staff involvement in some matters referred to the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
Oh boy.
That's where buying lunch just gets you.
No, it's just it's really unfortunate to see the numbers, you know. And I know that when he was in the house the other day, Mr. Pintard mentioned that there could be like hundreds of cases. At first, the government seemed to suggest that his information was incorrect or not fully correct. And, subsequently, we've learned that, there may be more names than the 74, 75 or so that he tabled in the House the other day. And then when you look at the list, because of course I've had a look at the list, a lot of the cases on that list seem to be concentrated in 2024, which begs the question, what about 2023? What about 2022? And so forth and so on. How far back did you go in terms of issues that need to be dealt with? But I think right now the Bahamian people are frustrated because for a long time, you've heard persons say that, everything isn't as it should be in terms of our passports, and that maybe something needs to be done in terms of reform, some auditing needs to be done. We were constantly reassured by the government, it's just a couple of cases, it's not a big deal. But 98 cases that were confirmed by the chief passport officer, they don't look like a little bit, And then when you dig down in a little bit more and you see, the reasons why these passports were given out, fraudulent documents, so forth and so on, Bahamians are concerned. And right now, all of the finger pointing is not helping our situation. We want reformers that will actually get in there, see what's wrong, fix the system, and ensure the security of our passport. It's so important that we protect our passport, that we protect our citizenship. And right now, I just think that this particular administration they're a little bit on the defense. They're on their back feet because for a very long time, they kept downplaying that, nothing is wrong. But now we see that there's a lot that's wrong that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, I think the whole downplaying for a long time on one end, and while courting on the other end, sends mixed signals to Bahamians. I think it's been a red flag for a while. But now it's reached proportions where it's come under scrutiny. I think there's going to be this election campaign, and especially at the polls. Bahamians do not trust this administration, especially when it comes to coming under siege with foreign nationals having, fraud cases involving our passports. And then when I had a prime minister say, well, fraudulent documents shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, fraudulent documents.
Well, no, he said it wasn't a major problem. And I think that that's unfortunate too. And
go ahead.
And I don't understand how they got outpositioned on this particular issue when in fact they have the power to make the adjustments that Bahamians want to see made, when in fact they are in the position to give us the numbers and tell us how widespread these cases are. Like I said, when you look at the list that was tabled the other day, 90% of those passports, around 91%, were passports that were, given out in 2024. So it centers on just that 1 year. I mean, you don't have to honestly be crazy to think that it's limited to just that span of time, right?
Just 1 year, 2024.
That obviously it's not limited. And when I looked more at it, the numbers there, at least almost 40% of the names on that list are minors. I mean, do we even understand what that means? That means that not only do you have a passport they should not be in possession of, but that you also have an adult, maybe two, maybe more, that participated in this, because minors can't get passports on their own. And one thing that stood out to me recently, it was just listening to the back and forth, was the way that the current administration tried to put most of it on the renewal process, which I found strange. When you have minors, and you and I have been through this, you realize that, there's full documentation when you go to get their passports. And then when you try to renew it, because their passports only last for 5 years, there's also full documentation there as well. As a matter of fact, we renewed passports for our sons before 2024, when they say that they changed this policy that they inherited from the Minnis administration. And it was quite stringent there too. And so just putting it off on renewals, I think, is a little bit disingenuous. I think that they need to own a part of this, because it's not like in 2022, this administration didn't move ahead and increase the fees that are associated with these expedited passports. And so when you do that, what you're basically saying to the public is that you understand the process and that you're going to charge a premium to get this done. So how do you go ahead, raise it up to $350 for same day, and then say, oh, the underlying process
Say raise lunch money. from party and vitamin prices to gourmet prices. That's what
Right,
happened.
but then when you put gourmet prices, you're supposed to be giving gourmet service. You're supposed to understand the process behind being able to offer that service. So to do that in October of 2022, and then to come back years later and say, oh, but it was their policy in 2019. Well, that should have been reviewed when you decided to up the prices and up the speed. Because understand now that in some cases, you can get passports before 12 noon the same day. So if you're going to offer that service, you must have underlying process behind it. So to put it off on the previous administration now, I don't think that makes a lot of sense. I think that, in 2022, when you made those adjustments to the fees, you own that whole process, that policy stands from that point on as well. So I think what we want to see now, though, is that solutions. We're tired of people saying, oh, you did it, you did this. We want people in there that can look at processes, and we want them to fix any loopholes that exist in the system.
Well, we got a couple of calls before I get to the calls. It was surprising, that Latrey Rabin popped up with press releases regarding this and regarding the poll, but still nothing about the Grand Lucayan. Wow.
Oh yeah, we're still waiting on that. I'm waiting for the developer as well, because don't forget, the last time it was the developer themselves in that press release that promised us that they would, update us within 2 weeks. Now 3 weeks have passed, going on 4 weeks. Where's Concord Wilshire? I mean, where's their new press release? Where are the things that they promised us? Still nothing.
Let's get this call in before we get to the break. Talking Heads.
Naughty.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man? Good afternoon to you and your better half, MJ.
Good afternoon. Hi.
Thanks, man. What's going on, man?
Everything good. Listen, Naughty, two things I want to touch on, right? With the passport issue, right? Is that was supposed to be some voting block created under the, over for the past 4 years, that was supposed to be some voting block, extra voting block created because of the punishment the Bahamian people face, especially those persons who had supported this administration. But, Naughty, it's so hurtful to see that, people, Bahamians of Haitian parents, they didn't even get a chance to get a card until they was almost like 40 or 50, until they didn't live half of their life. And persons them now getting passports who can't even speak English.
And see, when I speak out about it, I want you to know that I know that I have grown up with people, persons, Bahamians here, who came up under Haitian parents born here, and they identify as Bahamian. They waited till they was 18. The process has been labored. But I understand their frustration. They've been waited, and like you said, they've waited and taken years to get their paperwork. And now somebody who flies in on a flight allegedly lands with paper in hand and the right to vote. It's crazy.
And can't speak English, and Naughty, I know we short on time, right? But I just want to say this thing to Bahamian people, because I listened to Brian Brown just now, the next member of Parliament for Golden Arts, right? Naughty, what took place in the last by-election, it showed me a vote, any vote in the next election outside of voting for the F&M, you might as well just vote for the PLP. You know why? Because if you decide to vote for some turn, you're going to give the PLP an opportunity to continue with this slaughter they're doing on the citizens in terms of taking away the rights we have in terms of just for free medicine, in terms of for the basic needs we have, and what is being neglected. So I ask my Bahamian people, rather than giving the PLP a second chance or giving any vote outside of the F&M, vote F&M and change this situation we'll be going through in this country. Thank you for your time, Naughty.
All right, man. Have a good weekend. Appreciate your call. Appreciate you chiming in. All right, let's get to the break. Flip side of the break, MJ and I'll go over a little bit. We do have to continue the conversation on this, as well as our poll, hey, MJ, and a couple other things we got to address. And then we'll get into sports as well. So I want you to keep it right where you got it. The Friday, March 20th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
I never ask you, nothing when you tell me. I beg you daily to cease and still you keep talking. Me granny tell me.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Keep it his mouth, they shall belong.
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by The Armory Company, Burger King, Fine Threads, the Free National Movement, John's Department Store, KFC, the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, Naughty Johnny's, Prince Masters, and Tropical Gyros.
Keep talking. Me granny tell me from your little baby, he that keepeth his mouth shall stay out of problem. It seems like it was things carrying jail, so I ain't carrying on. Say mouth that chatter with me, well, chatter of him, murder rap begin farm. Oh, your mouth I go put you in a problem. Oh, hey, oh, I said your mouth I go put you in a problem. Oh, yeah, see a kaya mountain. You are go weak, see a kaya teeth creation.
We're back at ya on the Friday, March 20th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty along with MJ and your company right up until 6 p.m. We're into the 5 o'clock hour, 5:08 p.m. is the time. Gonna wrap up some things in regards to the weekend review, and we will talk sports this hour for sure. Phone lines open, text lines open. MJ, before we get into it, sad news.
What's that?
We lost Chuck Norris today.
I did hear about that earlier. Boy, he was such a staple during our childhoods, you know, like, I mean, it is so sad whenever you lose one of the legends. So yeah, condolences.
Yep.
And may he rest in peace. He definitely was an icon.
A lot of great movies growing up, and then in the latter years, all the memes, you know, the Chuck Norris.
Oh yeah.
There memes.
Yeah.
There was one that all of us sports fans, because, you know, we were big Chuck Norris buffs too. In the off season, you share the Chuck Norris memes to keep going, you know. And somebody shared one today that I think was really poignant, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Chuck Norris isn't dead; he just sleeps longer.
Right.
I'm just going to leave it like that.
Yeah.
But I'm sad to see him go, and you look around and you say, wow. A lot of people we grew up on, you know, watching them on TV and in movies and stuff, you know, you hate to see them go. It's
always strange. It's always strange when that happens. I say the year before was when we lost Malcolm Jamal Warner, because, I mean, who didn't grow up on the Huxtables and, you know, Theo Huxtable, and that was weird.
That the name is always, you know, that was his name, but, you know, that's Theo, man. We lost Theo.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to say anything else but Theo. Everybody knew that's Theo Huxtable who you were referring to.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was kind of a blow. Seeing Chuck Norris go was kind of a blow. And like I said, you know, the older we get, the more legends we lose. Let's go to the phone lines real quick. Talking Heads.
Hi, good afternoon, Naughty.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, MJ.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, I'm just calling with regards to something that the last caller would have mentioned about a vote for any third party is a vote for the PLP. I'm wanting to dispel that. I think that's a bunch of foolishness. People need to understand that we Bahamian people, young and older, we're very intelligent people. We're not prepared to allow them to spew mess into the atmosphere. The people that are thinking that's the way to go. We don't do what they want us to do long enough, and it ain't working for us. So we are prepared to take the chance of a third party.
So what's your suggestion as a viable option for a third party?
Repeat that again, Mr. Naughty.
I want to know what your suggestion is.
Yes, I mean, the writing is on the wall. We have a clear third party that has been galvanizing this community to vote for them and to work for us. Right now, we're not having the two major parties that has worked for the last 53 years and haven't served us at all. We're not having them serve us, and they're not working for us. They could use all these pretty slogans and these nice mottos, but we are beyond that. We are intelligent Bahamian people who are deciding to make a decision for ourselves. And then no one to allow us, we're not going to allow no one to spoof foolishness in our spirits and our ears, because we're ready to change.
Like I always tell you, grab the manifesto, whichever party suits you the best, whichever resonates to you the best, and ride with it. And if a third party manifesto, resonates with you, brother, that's your God given right. Ride hard for it.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Yeah.
But be objective enough to know that some people may agree to disagree with you on that stance.
Yes. But my thing is, I realize a lot of people wouldn't call in because, of course, as far as they're concerned, they don't make up their mind what they're going to do. You understand? We don't need no one to give us no new beef or, no ideas to cause us to go in the path of destruction that we have been going on for the last 53 years. We see the writing on the wall.
No, and we hear you, caller. And like Naughty said, I think that once you find a party that resonates with, the goals and ideals that you have, then of course you're going to support that party. I think a lot of people talk in terms of, your votes influencing the overall election, because right now it seems that we still do have a two-party system. How do you think election day is going to turn out? What do you think you're going to see on election day?
On election day, I'm a faith-believing individual, so I know that it's going to be a new day. And it ain't going to be a new day of the PLP with their same new day and take us into a dark day. And it ain't going to be, whatever the FNM team has done, it ain't going to be that easy. Because, they had a chance to work for the Bahamian people and ain't work for the Bahamian people. Now they want a next chance to do us in like the PLP. We ain't on that wicket at all.
Okay, but
Caller, thank you so much. Thank you so much, caller.
All right. Listen, I know he's fired up and all, but one thing about it is I look for solutions. And that caller was referring to the COI. Like, I look at their plan. I could remember when that plan was passed around years ago when John Boswick came up with it. That looks like
I think for sure with the COI, of course, the supporters of that party are very passionate about the party. But if we're looking at even the recent by-election, which is the last actual trip to the polls, that we can say, okay, these are results, hard data that we can look at. I think it's clear that right now the fight is still between the Free National Movement and the PLP. But like you said, whatever party appeals to you, go ahead and give that party your support. But I think at this point in time, in our maturation as a country, the fight is still between the Free National Movement and the Progressive Liberal Party, and I think that's what we're going to see at the next election.
And at some point, voters, seasoned voters, and folks who've been around the election, it's not like, vote me in, and when we figure out what's going on, we'll give you a solution. No. We need solutions ahead of time. We need to know what your plan is, and we can base it upon that. And it has to be tangible and palatable and not insulting to thinking people. But the lines are full, so let's go to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Hey, good day, Naughty.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, man. Good day, MJ.
Hi, good afternoon.
Listen, man, that previous caller just now, he out to lunch. The COI will not win a seat. And here's the thing, and that's not no hating on the COI, because I'll give the COI something. I will give the COI the fact that they were on this immigration issue very hard, very early. I give them that. But at the end of the day, the only chance that this country has to fix the immigration problem in this country is to vote for the Free National Movement. The FNM and the COI are the only two parties to acknowledge that there's an immigration issue. But the FNM is the only party with the ability to win, and with a proven track record to win. We are the only party that has won, and I say we because I've supported and voted for the FNM, right? And the thing is with the COI, I get the passion, you can hear it, but the COI has a real leadership problem. Lincoln does not have the best track record. And I've known Lincoln from his FNM days, right? But Lincoln is one of the few people I've seen get fired from a church. You know how hard it is to get fired from a church? I don't know if Lincoln has paid the woman the money that he owes. What is it, $60,000 or $90,000? And so, yeah, you come on the radio, you can be all passionate on the radio, but the fact is, you go to any street in this country, any road in Nassau, Grand Bahama, or Family Island, and you can find. And so, and that's not by mistake. And that's not by mistake. And that's not by mistake. That is through the parties being intentional over decades of building that base of support. And people vote for the FNM and the PLP because they buy them ham and turkey or because they're stupid. And so the COI has to get this idea that Bahamian people are stupid. Bahamian people are not stupid. People vote for the FNM and the PLP because of hard years of labor, toiling, groundwork, building support, having people buy into the vision, and that's through decades of work. So this idea that they're calling people stupid for supporting the FNM and the PNP is just absurd to me. They're not going to get support that way. So if you want to fix the immigration issue, if you want to turn this country around, you really and truly, you got one option. You vote FNM or any other vote you do, whether you stay home or vote for another party or an independent candidate, you're putting the PLP back in power.
Let me ask you this, caller. What is it about the Progressive Liberal Party's position on immigration that does not appeal to you? What do you find problematic?
Well, one, I think that they are actively causing a problem, and then they're acting as though there is no problem, right? And I saw Latrey's recent remarks about the fraud, the passport issue that Pintar had put out to the public.
Right.
And his response to that is after 4 years of being in power, of being in government, where the issue was raised to them on numerous occasions, his response was that it's the FNM's fault from 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
But weren't all those passports issued in like 2023, 2024?
Yeah, 90% in 2024.
90%. And you have the audacity to act as though people are that stupid to just say, oh, it was the FNM's fault back 5 years ago. No, my brother. No. And so be honest with the issue is the first thing. Acknowledge the issue. Acknowledge the issue is the first thing. You open the papers on any given day, and there are at least 5 pages of pictures and names that are getting citizenship. And so when we have the conversation, at least come to the table with clean and honest hands, instead of telling people that there is no issue when we all know that there is one.
Thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much.
All right, let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Audie and NJ.
Hey, what's going on?
AI, Celestii. But I tell you, we need a collective response in solving the country's problem. But first, remember, we had a first minister who said something sinister. So that's the best of gaslighting. I think some people are so intelligent that they really think that they can outsmart anybody. But, I just wanted to say this as it relates to the migration crisis. This is my chronology of events here. Firstly, we have Bahamas Air issuing boldly that they have increased a flight daily or per week to cap Asian, right? Or part of pay, whatever. It doesn't matter.
I think it's still 2. There was something that went around and said it was 3, but they sent out a correction saying no, that was inaccurate. It's still 2.
But what I'm saying is, in any which event, they still having these flights going and coming there. But the thing is,
they
still go. An interesting point with people who born here, and they have people came here more recently, getting documents before them, et cetera. And so they must wipe out the justice of the peace system because there won't be any peace. And so for me, let's look at the chronology of events. Latrey Rahman was on this morning. I don't know who they think they're talking to. They must be talking to idiots. Because what I'm saying is, you have fraudulent documents. Documents being issued, authentic documents being issued because of fraud, and even via the justice of peace and whatever. And so then the chronology of events is you have passed on citizenship from fraud, and then the government's lack of foreign policy. But Mr. Rahman, me and you and man go up together. So he was saying that what I'm saying is you're passing, you have a chronology of fraud, and you're not doing anything to correct that as it relates to your foreign policy. You're talking about foreign policy, but we happen to these people when they're caught. What are the consequences? Are they deported, et cetera, et cetera? We see belligerent remarks being passed, hate speech. Nobody's talking to that particular community. We don't need that. I'm 61. We've been living in peace and harmony with these migrants for decades. So I don't see where all the schisms come from. It's like we living in a country with sleepers who are willing to turn traitors on us, and the government is sitting back. We have the Minister of National Security issuing these type of statements, blaming a particular party when the freedom of the information will be able to disclose these things. And then, like I said, see, Alan highlighted this. We could go back retroactively and then revamp the system, clean up the system, and come forward using AI, and we could go back and we'll find fraudulent documents. and like say, and people who are responsible for these things, but yet still the government is I don't know, they're talking to imbeciles. Are we all imbeciles, man? Have a good day.
Have
All
a
right,
good one.
good stuff. Let's get to the other call. Talking heads.
Yeah, Nori, good afternoon, you and your beautiful wife.
Good afternoon.
What's going on, Big John?
First of all, let me say, I want to encourage those discouraged voters to please, you only got a couple of weeks left. I honestly feel as though, like right after Easter, the Prime Minister is going to dissolve Parliament. And once Parliament is dissolved, they can no longer register to vote or fix their transfer, whatever is necessary. I want to encourage them to please do it as soon as possible. The line may be a little long, it may take a little while to do it, but it's a sacrifice that you need to make in the best interest of your country. And I advise Bahamians that, listen, man, it's unfortunate that our government system allows for the Prime Minister to have all the power. And while you may serve in cabinet and people may try to say you have collective responsibility, the bottom line is the Prime Minister determines what goes and what comes. What happens and what doesn't happen, what is approved and what is not approved. That's the bottom line. So you can't beat Mr. Pintard with the switch of Dr. Minnis. Dr. Minnis had the competent authority. He didn't have to go to cabinet for nothing. He could do what he felt like. And so I just want to make sure people understand that. Yeah, you might have been a part of the decision-making process, but when you're on a team sometime, you got to follow the lead of the leader, even though you may not be quite satisfied with what's going on. And the same thing happened under Mr. Brave Davis. I'm sure Brave Davis didn't appreciate some things that the former Prime Minister, Barry Christie, did. Okay? But he had to inherit that. And subsequently, I guess he was forgiven by the Bahamian people as being a part of that administration. And he ended up being the Prime Minister. The next thing I'm going to touch on, this one really hurts me the most. And I keep wanting to say this. I don't want to offend nobody, but let me just say this fact. The fact is this. We are a tourism destination. We are talking putting heads in beds. We fly to Vacation or wherever we fly in Haiti, 2-3 flights a week, whatever amount of flights. I think it's 2 or 3 flights a week. We don't bring no tourists that we put no heads in no beds. Some people can come to live in a hotel. They economic and political refugees we bring into the Bahamas, and half of them will never go back. So that's the facts. We ought to be targeting destinations to put heads in beds. There's a bunch of fools that come with, and I'm really disappointed with some intelligent men in our camp who are supposed to be intelligent. There's silly statements they make and try to push on me. Come on, man. If these passports are fraudulent under your administration, how in the world, and you say you changed the policy, how in the world you can be blaming the former administration for things that happen on your watch if it just happened during your time? Come on, man. Be a little more educated than that.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you so much. And I think
There's one more call, MJ. Let's just get that in and then we can jump to it. Talking head.
Hello, good day, Nori.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Lady J. Yes, I'm Nori. When it comes down to the passports being issued out, we can't blame the PLP neither there, and we got to blame both of them. It seems as if when the PLP come in, you know Fred Mitchell go run for one position. You know position you want to explore on the set. And then you're on the other side, you got Carl Battle and Dion Folk. And all of them on the same run. Like Eugene Drury and the PLP still living, he's on dead, his dream of Haitianize in this country, you know, it's still left. And the FNM ain't no different. Because, I mean, if the FNM come to power again, I guess yes. Because even though Carl Battle and his brother-in-law are the Folks boy, they ain't going to survive on the seat. But I guarantee you, if the FNM win, you see them usher up right there, same position. So, he wants that's immigration, and then the other one was like the whole attorney general. Okay, these positions that they hold and things. I mean, corruption is a serious.
I know you probably been around many moons like me, so that would come up on your list that hey, this one might make a play, or this one might make a play. I haven't heard those names come up in this Pintard administration at all, and I think there's some better options at this stage.
You wouldn't hear them now, but I guarantee you, behind the scenes, they'll be right up in the front. Because last time, when the election for last time, to vote FNM, you know, I know FNM, but I vote because you know what? I just feel like, man, hold on, man, the PLP doing this other nonsense. But to my dismay, the FNM when they get in, the same side of people, it's like they even ain't no vote for them.
Well, like if that go like that, call me back, remind me, and I'll beat up my gum about it.
I think
Two
No,
more
go
calls,
ahead.
MJ.
Go ahead. Let's get to the callers.
Talking Heads.
Hi, caller.
Talking Heads.
Good day.
Good day.
What's happening,
Good
Dennis?
day. Good day, MJ. Naughty one.
Hi.
Yeah. That was Big John Pendo was talking earlier, right?
Sound like.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he talked about them and they blaming it on the F&M. We got 52 weeks in a year, right? How many flights coming from Haiti, and how many people is be on them flights? Let's just do the arithmetic. When these people come, do they come as tourists? Because they'll be bragging about how much tourists we have every year. And like the earlier caller was saying, they come as political refugees or whatever, or they come with these papers or passport and saying they're Bahamians. That's the two dynamics of them coming with those flights. And all we have to do is do the arithmetic on how many of them come, because like we say, most of them don't even be leaving and going back. That's all I have to say today.
Thank you.
All right, Dennis, good stuff. Okay, MJ, let's go before we get more callers.
No, I mean, I think what you hear a lot is the frustration of Bahamians who recognize that we do have some issues in our system that need to be corrected. And instead of hearing solutions, we get a lot of finger pointing. I think it was unfortunate that, I did hear the response from the Director of Communications, Troy Ramming, who pointed back to an F&M policy in 2019 that was meant to streamline renewals in particular. And if you look at the policy itself, the policy is not a bad policy. And I don't think the PLP thought that it was a bad policy because they built a whole fast track system. They increased the fees, like I said, in October of 2022. Now, if you're going to increase the fees on a system that you don't understand, that you don't agree with, well, then that's a textbook definition of bad governance. So I don't see where it makes sense to come now and say, oh, that was something the F&M did in 2019, when you not only doubled down on it, you made it even faster when you made those adjustments in 2022. Like I said, I think Bahamians just want solutions at this point, and pretending that we don't have issues that need to be corrected is not the way to go, because people don't want to hear that. We're seeing now, we heard from the chief passport officer yesterday, I think it was, but he says that there are 98 cases. Well, that's nothing to sneeze at. And so the continuous downplaying of a very important issue for Bahamians, I think, is where this administration is going wrong. That they come forward and they offer the solutions and they tell us how they're going to fix it. I think one thing that was interesting that I've heard so far is the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Darren Henfield, who talked about how the agencies themselves need to talk to each other more. They need to verify behind the scenes more, because I tell you, you could bring a fraudulent document. If it's not caught, you could bring it back a couple of years later when you're doing a renewal. And if it's not caught the first time, there's a possibility that it's not going to be caught the second time. So the point is that we need actual solutions. One of the good solutions that I heard from the former minister is that the agencies do need to be talking to each other behind the scenes a little bit more. Just telling someone, bring the documents every time. The thing about it is, even though the renewal process was changed a little bit by the former administration, all of the paperwork was still on the file. There was nothing that precluded this administration from insisting on verification. Why didn't that happen? When they decided to up the fees, they should have understood the process that's entailed in upping the fees. And so why didn't they say then, okay, we're going to take these fees up, sky high, mind you, because it's $350 for the same day passport. Why didn't they say then, when they made that adjustment, okay, we're going to do this, but we don't agree with that former policy, so we're going to make an adjustment and insist on verification. You're telling us that it took a passport officer coming in at the end of 2024 in order for you to find a problem with the system. That means that when the minister recommended that those fees be increased, you're telling me he didn't understand what he was recommending, that he was putting more risk potentially was in the system. Because if you have a flawed process and you add speed to it, you don't make it better, you make it riskier. So I don't think that's the answer that they want to be out there saying, which is that we didn't understand when we looked at the policies in 2022. I think the best thing for them to do now is to tell us how they're going to fix it. And I think the agencies verifying behind the scenes with each other more is one of the solutions that we could put in place right away that can help the situation.
All right, let's get to a couple of these texts. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Those MPs who didn't disclose their financial information should not be able to contest in the next general election. Make that
agree.
a law.
I agree.
You all agree? Put a poll out there to vote on it.
No, I agree. If
I agree also.
if you don't respect us enough to, follow basic procedures when it comes to disclosure, why should we trust you in the House? I agree with that, Texter.
Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Is the Army company hiring? I'm so sick and tired where I'm working now on this construction site over the bridge. Because these lazy young dudes make me angry and sick. Sometimes I'm ready to fight them.
Oh boy,
These
don't
are
do
very
that.
young, immature dudes.
Don't fight on your
Drink,
job.
smoking, and dressing up on the job all day.
Oh, come on.
And they're in their 20s, and not all of Bahamian, sucking my teeth. If the police investigate 98 cases, then in this Bahamas, probably thousands slipped through the cracks already. Naughty, good afternoon. MJ has some really good ideas. Wish this government would take her advice on the double check of the expedited passports. Does she offer consultation services?
I think they recognize what it is that they have to do. The fact that they're not articulating that, but instead wasting our time talking about, this is a policy from 2019, when you have been in charge of all policies related to passports since 2021. I think that is just a waste of time. And that's why Bahamians are frustrated, because nobody wants to be accountable. Nobody wants to take ownership. We give you the power. You say that it's going to be different, but then you come back to us 4 years later, 5 years later, still looking back at the past saying, these guys did it. Well, what did you do in the meantime? What did you do when we gave you the power to go ahead and make adjustments for the betterment of Bahamian people? You did nothing. It took, according to what Mr. Raming is saying, it took a chief passport officer coming in at the end of 2024 for you to recognize that maybe there needed to be more verification. That's what it took. We have a former chief passport officer that's sitting in the House of Assembly right now. So what was happening under his watch? Was Mr. Smith not aware that maybe some adjustments needed to be made? I mean, I think this is why Bahamians are sick and tired, because nobody wants to be accountable and nobody wants to say, you know what? We see that this is a problem, but we're not going to point fingers. We're actually going to fix it.
Naughty and MJ, one person beat Chuck Norris. That's Bruce Lee. Yeah, I remember that. That was a good movie, too.
It was.
No, only they are intelligent. They're so smart until they aren't. Naughty and MJ.
Yeah.
Why are you always letting the COI Robin Man on the airways with his time and switching hand on the air? You need to call him Mr. Cuthip. Oh, Lord.
COIs are very, like I said, they're very passionate. But I think one thing, and I've said this before, sometimes the approach is not good. And it leaves a lot to be desired, and it turns a lot of Bahamians off. And so if you want to become a major party in this country, you have to work on the ways that you are able to approach potential supporters, potential voters, and speak to them in a way that they'll actually listen to you. Because if you just rant and rave, everyone's stupid, everyone's crazy, y'all keep voting for these other parties, then you're not going to get through. You're not going to win people over to your side. No one's even going to want to listen to it. So I respect that they're passionate about their party, but right now they need to figure out how to do better PR, how to do better outreach, because the way that it's going about right now, they're going to stay stuck in that 7 to 11% range for a very long time, because they're going to turn off more people than they turn on if they don't adjust their approach a little.
All right, let's get to the break, MJ. We got to get to the first break. On the flip side of the break, we'll address that poll, and we'll slide into sports, all right? Because we still got some sports to talk about before we head into the weekend. And speaking of sports, be sure to join me, Pearly, Statboy, Mega, for the Press Box, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., right here on Guardian Radio on Sunday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., all brought to you, of course, by the Island Game, Green Parrot, and Michelob Ultra. And if you want to win some Michelob Ultra, listen out this Sunday. I got the hookup for you. As a matter of fact, all month long, I got the cases to give away. All right, it's March Madness, and Michelob Ultra hooking you up on the Press Box each and every Sunday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., right here on Guardian Radio. Shameless plug, I know, MJ. Now let's get to the break.
Things carrying jail, so I ain't carrying on. Same out that chatter with me, well, chatter of him, murder rap big in farm. Oh, Jay.
Nassau. Get ready for the new and bold Barbecue Crispy King at Burger King. 2 100% flame grilled patties stacked with that irresistible onion crunch you love. Smoky barbecue sauce, crisp bacon, and melted cheddar. All on a buttery brioche bun. Mmm. Crunch, bacon, cheese, flame grilled flavor. Swing by any of Burger King's 6 Nassau locations and taste the new Barbecue Crispy King today. Burger King Nassau, where taste is on fire.
Struggling to find your financial rhythm? Make that move to Fidelity and let us help you orchestrate your financial goals into perfect harmony with free financial coaching sessions. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Tech giving you trouble? For 85 years, the Armory Company has been fixing it. Your parents trusted us. Your grandparents trusted us. And today, you trust us too. Since 1941, we've been the Bahamas' trusted tech partner. From laptops and ink to access control and gate motors, we deliver reliable products backed by service that goes beyond the sale. Call 397-1600 or visit our updated showroom behind Wendy's on Mackey Street. The Armory Company, celebrating 85 years of serving you.
It's back, Agri-Expo 2026, presented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, April 10th through 12th at the Gladstone Road Agriculture Center. Agriculture, our heritage, our future, comes alive with the latest farming technologies, exciting cooking demonstrations and competitions, Bahamian farmers and vendors from across the islands, fun for the kids at the Kitty Corner, nightly musical concerts, and free admission for everyone. Bring the whole family and celebrate what feeds our nation. Agri-Expo 2026. Let's get growing.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
I say he that keepeth his mouth, you know, they shall belong. I never ask you, not know what you tell me.
We're back at you on the Friday edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty along with MJ and the company right up until 6 p.m. Lines are full. Let's get these calls out of the way. And I'm going to get some sports in before we get out of here. I promise. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty, am I on? Isn't sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon to you and MJ. Couple things.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, so when I think of the immigration, a lot of this could be detected early. Because when a person comes in, there has to be a sponsor, as far as I know, from Haiti. So those sponsors, sometimes one person sponsoring a couple of people, and those people never return on the time they return. Those persons should be investigated. Who sponsor those persons? And it depends on what the severity of a charge and determine where those persons be held accountable, either fined. There should be a charge attached, and you'll discourage a lot of people from signing, from bringing people in. But immigrate, and these are easy because they're records. Those are records filed within immigration. They could do these easy. So these are low-hanging fruits. Then I remember, if you have kids, A Bug's Life. Remember the saying says, the when the princess tried to put it off onto someone else, and Grasshopper stopped her and said, listen, first rule of leadership, everything is your fault. And so the problem is with these leaders, they keep blaming someone else for the fault, but you're now in the seat. You're the leader. Take responsibility. And then the last thing, the passport officer, chief passport officer, when I was hearing him yesterday, he became political. That's not a political office. He said the last administration was responsible for it, and I think that is just wrong. Don't put yourself in that trap. I'm not, listen to me, I know fan of the FNM or the PLT, right? But I think that, listen, don't get political. Remember you are. But when we appoint these persons as politicians, appoint these persons, they're not doing the bidding of this country, you know. They're doing the bidding of the politicians. Thanks for your time.
Thanks so much. I think he raises an important point. There are some positions that we expect to act apolitical. It's one of those.
Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads.
Howdy, MJ. It's Nico. How are you guys?
Hi, Nico.
Hey, what's happening, Nico?
Gosh, you got the airways on fire with this immigration stuff. I'm just going to put my 2 cents in, and I listened to what the Minister of Immigration said, passing the buck type thing. And both of you are absolutely correct. To kick the can down the road, this is what desperation looks like. And coming out of Casey's mouth, I was shocked. He is my friend. And the blame about the inadequacies of the system and these things that the other administration in. You've been in for 5 years, and you haven't done a single solitary thing. So by virtue of your discourse over the radio and TV and the like, the perception of the Bahamian people is this. If you found that and you didn't do something about that, right? Is it intentional that you left it?
Yeah. Yep. I mean,
and that, it's a serious question. I'm not saying
yeah,
they
because
did.
in 2022, when they adjusted the fees, they must have understood what the underlying process was that went along with those fees.
Absolutely.
So to say you didn't, that would be an interesting question that I wish an intrepid reporter would ask the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
And the whole thing is speaking to the Bahamian, it is a absolute desperation to say we didn't do anything. Well, you're right. You didn't do anything. You saw it. You didn't fix it. You monopolized on it, if that's the case. And that's what the perception is.
Yeah.
So as the Bahamian saying is, shut mouth catch no fly, and the Americans say foot in the mouth. Well, this went up all the way to the ankle and the hip.
Nico,
Good stuff, Nico. Appreciate you, man.
Oh, man. Oh, boy.
Let's get the other call in. Talking Heads.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. I'd like to make a comment.
Go right ahead.
Yes, I wanted to make a comment because I heard someone say, a previous caller call and said if you want to blame somebody, you can blame both parties. But under the F&M last administration, we had no problem like this with fraudulent passports at such an alarming rate as we see it now. But they claim that it was just an isolated incident, and when Mr. Pentard mentioned this inside the House of Assembly, they was all like, put up or shut up, show the evidence. But now you see in the paper there's another 14 cases. So how far has the breach gone? We'll
yeah, I
never
think
know.
yeah, people are concerned. Bahamians are concerned.
Let's get to them. Talking Heads.
Good day to you all. Our problem stems with those JPs. Shut down those JPs from writing fraudulent information, false information. You could go to them right now and say, well, listen, I know this man for 10, 15 years, and the JP will just write you up on a letter, and they take it to the
I hope that isn't
passport office,
happening.
and this way our problem stems with these JPs. Trust me on that, Noddy. It's the JPs
I hope that
what's
is
causing
happening.
this problem.
Do we know what the process is to become a JP? Do we know?
Very easy. All you have to do is go and sign, let a magistrate swear you in or some type of thing that I understand. And it's so easy to become a JP, but it's so easy for them to also, they ain't get no job. They sitting at home every day and they love foreigners. When it comes to Bahamians, just to write up a little thing, they don't want to see us because it's just a little $20 or $15. But those foreigners, that's where they make the big bucks from. They swear on their mother's grave that they know these people for 10, 15, 20 years, and they just write it up, and then the same papers, the people take it to immigration, take it to the passport office, and this is how they get these passports. And I could give you an example because it happened to me and my niece. My niece's father died. Her father's a Jamaican, and her mom lived in the U.S. Only thing I had to do is go and swear that I know the little girl. I brought her up, me and my family. And she get a Bahamian passport, rich, and her mom and dad is Jamaican. But that's how easy it is. It is very easy to get Bahamian passport.
That is very disturbing. That is very disturbing.
I felt it because it was so easy for me to get a passport for her. And her mom, when she born, she came here, and we had to keep her, me and my family. And we
did you adopt her? I'm trying to understand how she was able. You adopted her?
We didn't even go through all of that, say no adoption. We just had her living with us, and she take our name and everything. But here it is. Her birth certificate is Jamaican, but here it is now. She's a full Bahamian.
So when that happened, though, so the JP is
This was
one part of
years
it.
ago. This is a lead sheet
Right.
now.
But I'm saying there are other parts to the process, and so because for her to get that Bahamian nationality, I mean that goes all the way up to cabinet, you know. So the
JP
whole process
and all of
was
them
done.
involved. Once a JP sign in, you don't have to go to no cabinet. You go straight to. Once the JP write a letter stick to the passport office that this, I swear that I know this person, and then you go and you notarize it to you pay like $2.50 by to put the information inside the system. Then you come back and you bring all the information and they give her the passport. I'm not lying to you. And
No, I hear what you're saying, but I mean I know that what you're describing is just one part of it. There would have had to have been other documentation that you provided, and then a decision would have had to have been made, correct? I think, did we lose that caller?
I think we might have lost him.
That sounds like a strange case. But what I'm hearing is a lot of people feel that something may be happening with the JP, so I'm sure, the powers that be are listening. That's another area
cry.
that you may want to tighten up, because it sounds like, I don't know, that case doesn't sound straightforward to me, but it sounds like there is a potential there for, untoward things to happen. So perhaps that's another area we need to look at and tighten up.
Let's get this other call in. Talking Heads. Talking Heads. All right, no problem. Call back if you want a cell phone. But yeah, I mean, MJ, this is the hot button issue. Wherever you go, let me get these other couple of texts in. Good afternoon, Naughty. I agree with MJ. Why aren't these agencies talking to one another instead of working in silos? I spent a day running between the Passport Office, Registrar General, and NIB last month. Does that make sense to you?
So let's talk about this. That's a very important point that the texter just raised, because when the Minister administration made some adjustments, one of the things that they adjusted was the need for you to constantly bring in the same documentation. For example, you get your passport for the first time, right? You bring in everything. We expect that at that first point of contact, there's NIB, everything across the board. So the reasoning is that if you come back to me subsequently, and I'll take myself for an example, I'm a Bahamian woman, married to a Bahamian man with Bahamian children. You have my birth certificate on file in the passport office. You have all of my information on file. I've not given it to you once. I've given it to you multiple times. And if you ask me to bring it every time, then yes, I'm running around with all of my documents, going to the same place, the passport office, every time. So the thinking was then that, okay, you will bring in your passport again. You will bring in your national insurance card, because we want to make sure that that's up to date. And then I think, of course, you'd bring in the photos, and then everything else that we would need from you, we already have on file, so we could check the files. In and of itself, that is not problematic. Many countries do expedited services. Renewal quickly like that for an e-passport kind of falls in that category. But the problem comes in when at the first contact, the verification isn't done properly, or there's some fraud in the system. So even if you say, okay, we want to make sure every time we give out a passport that we're dealing with authentic documents, what you do is you put in place a verification system where you check the file, and then if you so desire, or if you so request, then you have that person bring in those documents again for a second time. But the fact that you're telling me that the only way in the 21st century that we can move forward without having to take our documents around everywhere is, if we keep things kind of old-fashioned, to me that doesn't make any sense. The policy itself of not having to carry your documents is not a bad policy. The fact that the verification wasn't strong in the first place, and that every time you go to renew, because the file exists. It's not like the documents aren't there, The documents are there. They just chose not to check them if that was what was happening. So to put it on a policy that to me actually speeds up the system makes absolutely no sense. Fraudulent documents, and it's not caught. You could keep doing that every time, and maybe it won't be caught. Let the agencies speak to each other behind the scenes, verify on your own, not just by the piece of paper a person presents to you, and then maybe we'll have less of these fraud cases.
Naughty and MJ, JP courses are 8 weeks, $500 for the course. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. In typical PLP revisionist fashion, this passport issue has given them a chance to try and pass the buck. The issue now, as most Bahamians can see right through this ruse. Naughty, I would be quick. Naughty and MJ, I would be quick. And Michael Pintard said some passports was on the plane. Allegedly, who government was in though, and who's still in the PLP. I go on.
Yeah, the problem they have is they kept saying there's no issue, there's no issue. Mr. Pintard presented some documentation, and it almost looked like they were like forcing him, table it, put up or shut up, as the text says. He does that. Then the next day we get some sort of later that same day we get this press release on social media. Oh, be careful, those documents may not be what they seem. And then the following day we have the chief passport officer verifying, saying, yeah, that pretty much is a list that existed and originated out of the passport office. So now what are we to make of that? You know, I just don't understand for the life of me why the PLP refuses to get on better footing with this whole issue, pointing fingers, not saying what you're going to do when you're the one with power to make the changes. It's just mind-boggling. And I think that, you know, moving forward, if they want Bahamians to trust them on this issue, they have to be more accountable and more forthcoming with information, because we shouldn't have had to find out that there are issues in our passport office. 98 on its own, that's a lot of cases, but I'm quite sure that there are many, many more.
All right, let's get this last caller in before we wrap. Talking Heads.
Good day. How y'all doing, man?
Hey, what's happening?
Okay. I heard the passionate guy that called COI and whatnot, and
all right, all right. This is the last time for the week. I can tell you. Stop calling at 5:54. Okay. All
no,
right.
I tried to get it through, but I got disconnected a couple of times. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
COI is
I
very passionate. Yeah.
You know, he wants people to take the party serious, but in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they had two persons that already drop out. Lutra, and I'm trying to remember the other location. So how is it that we're supposed to take it serious? Okay, that's it.
Yeah, okay. Oh, boy.
All right, man. Have a good weekend, man. Call us earlier next week.
Thank you, caller. Did the COI replace those candidates yet, or
they
we
said
don't know?
they would. They'd make an announcement and they would. But we're getting out of here, man. But I just want to get this in before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Huh? Sports, check us on the press box, 11 a.m. Listen, I can't tell you where to lie. I do want to do sports, but sometimes there's a country we're trying to save, MJ, and the Bahamians are getting fired up and they want to express themselves. We only have one Bahamas, and we're only one set of Bahamians. And I got to tell you, careful how you vote this election. The vote you make could be the country that you save. The country you save could be your own. So think wisely and choose wisely.
And question those candidates, because a lot of the concerns that Bahamians have when they come knocking on your door, as I've said many times, just ask them these questions to their face. Make a note of the things that they say to you, and then if they're successful, you hold them to that. You know, and not just you know on election, but for the entire 5 years, you hold them to their promises.
And as we go into Saturday night, I'd just like to say on behalf of MJ and for Pearlie and for Mr. Producer, we appreciate everybody who voted for us in advance, made noise. Keep your fingers crossed. It is us and our colleagues.
A lot of our talking heads texted us and said, "Oh, I voted." So we'll see. We'll see if y'all voted.
We appreciate that.
We'll see.
We also got Dwight from One and Blend. We got Nuri in the morning. We got Javago with Z Live, and you got Talking Heads. So hopefully, you know, Guardian Radio will bring some hardware back over the weekend. And like I said, in any case, I appreciate you all voting for us, riding so hard for us, and making us a talk show that other talk shows listen to. But hopefully, you know, if things go the way they should, I'll be able to at least at one point on Saturday night say, not only for the whole team, for MJ, for Pearlie, for Chris, our super producer, one time for St. Pete. I really like to bring it home for St. Pete. So that being said, have a crust, and we'll see you Monday right here on Talking Heads.
Me granny tell me from your little baby, he that keepeth his mouth shall stay out of problem. It seems like it was a carrying jail, so I ain't carrying on. Came out that name of murderer, big informer. OJ, yeah. Your mouth I go put you in a problem.
KFC got that crispy onions crunch, take a bite, it's a smile. Sweet onion sauce drip, happy running down my side. Pepper jack cheese, bring a little playful wow. Burrito bun soft like a cloud on this ride. KFC, K-Chicky, with it, hey. Taste the sweet side of things. Every single bite, so lit it. Got my whole crew doing that thing. Crispy onion, sweet onion sauce. Pepper jack cheese, going on.
Introducing the new Sweet Chicky Chicken Sandwich at KFC.
Let's get chicky with it.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances, so come on into John's located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Hey everyone, get ready for a night you won't forget. It's Z-Live's Far Back Friday Party with host Shivago Lang. Friday, March 27th, beginning at 7 p.m. Join us at Sapodilla Estate for a night of 80s and 90s music, dance, light bites, and refreshing drinks. Get your tickets at the Nassau Guardian between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. $50 per person. Cash sales only. It's Z-Live's Far Back Friday Party. Real music, lots of fun, eats and drinks, and oh so cool vibes. See you there.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape. A Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more. There's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.